Your cost of opening up a business drops, but even more important than all that, that's the blocking and tackling. That's the language of business. When you walk in the room, when you start a business and you start to talk about somebody, you're never in a vacuum with no competition, unless you're just extremely lucky. And if there's going to be competition, that means somebody else knows your business as well as you do when you get started. And if you walk into a competitive environment and they still know more about the business than you do and more about your customers, you're going to lose.
Why people fail in business. Billionaire Mark Cuban's honest advice. When in business, you always need to put in a little extra effort to survive, or else there always is someone who's working harder than you and who'll understand the industry better than you. If this happens, you're gonna fail. Lack of their own efforts is what makes people fail in business. So don't ever stop learning about your customers and your target market, because that's what will give you an edge over your competition. Some people are born to do business. They have what we call a gift. But there are people who are better prepared and always hustling in business. The latter are usually the ones that outshine everyone else. Even if you're born with skills, if you don't polish those skills and don't utilize them in the right industry, you won't get anything from them. And that is for sure. Just imagine that while you're resting or vacationing, there's someone who's working 24/7 to take all your business away from you, and he might even succeed. This is why businesses fail, because when your competitor becomes a better businessman than you, there's no chance that you'll be able to stand your ground. A lot of people are going to tell you that you don't have to study business to actually be a businessman. Those people know nothing about business, and what you should know is that accounting, finance, and marketing are a language of business, and you need to be well-versed in that language. For that, you either need formal education or you can learn it online, but don't rely on someone else to do the accounting for you when you know nothing about it. Your business will only fail if you're not dedicated enough or interested enough to make it work. So make sure that you're putting all your effort into it.
But most people don't consider that. They don't do the work. They don't learn more about their industry. They don't know even about their business. And so you've got to put in the effort to know more about your industry than anybody else. And that's the brains part, and that's the effort part as well. Because look, if you're competing with me, you better know what you're doing, otherwise I'm gonna kick your ass, and you're not gonna outwork me. And so, the combination is usually what kills businesses early on more than anything. Alluding to it earlier about entrepreneurs being born or built, and I think I knew I was wired to be excited about business. How or why, I don't know, but, and there's certain guys that have the genetics to jump out of the gym. Certain guys, that, when they golf, they have the muscle memory and the discipline. Dirk Nowitzki may not be the most talented guy in the NBA, but his discipline and his focus to do what's necessary to be successful, he's willing to do, and combine it with being 7 feet tall and being skilled, makes him an amazing basketball player. So it's understanding what your skill set is, finding the right place to use those skills, and then going for it. Will that make you 250 grand? It depends if you pick the right industry. But whatever industry you pick, if you outwork everybody, if you try to be a little smarter than everybody, if you try to be a better salesperson than everybody, if you try to be better prepared than everybody, you've got your best chance. Because if you don't do it and somebody else does, I have the saying, work like someone's trying to take it all away from you. I actually work like someone's spending 24 hours, working 24 hours to take it all away from you. And that's kind of the way I look at it. I started my first business when I was 12. I was buying and selling baseball cards, buying and selling stamps. Anything I could do to make money, I was hustling and trying to do. So I was into business, but I not so much where it was all my friends were into it with me, so they wouldn't know. Yeah, baseball cards, you name it. I grew up in Pittsburgh. And so I would, probably even less than 12 years old, I would go out and buy a bunch of baseball cards that I collected. And I would say, okay, you're guaranteed to have a Pittsburgh Pirate in this package. And I would charge 3 times as much. And I'd set up on this park bench down in the park down in Scott Township where I grew up. And I'd have these little sales. And it was great. I made money. And it was, and I learned as much about business when I was 9, 10, and 12 as I learned any other time. If you're going to have and run a business, if you don't understand accounting, you're already behind the 8 ball. Your accountant might tell you you're profitable, but your cash is going down. Not understanding the breakdown. And when you don't, I think you do, right? Because it may not, for some people, look, if you're so self-motivated that you can take an online course in accounting and teach yourself everything, you're way ahead of the game anyways. But most people aren't. I don't care if you go to a community college and take accounting and spend $99 for the class. Just, spending the money forces you to be more obligated to do it. But accounting, finance, lesser extent marketing, sales, if the school offers that, that's the language of business. And so while it's possible to teach yourself these things, and while it's possible to hire them, when you're starting your own company, you don't want to have to spend money hiring an accountant.